Hi viewers, and welcome to Vision Matter. And today we have a guest from Romania, uh, Professor Manuela Epure. She is the expert of marketing and also researcher in the same time. And we will obviously know something from her in soon. Welcome, Professor Manuela. Thanks for to
Thank you
joining
for
this program.
inviting me.
So, Prof, the first question we want to know from you that what is your experience about the COVID-19 and especially this current situation?
Okay, so first of all, it was surprising for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I think I didn't know it's coming. My country didn't know it's coming. Other country didn't know it's coming. Such a nightmare, I may say. So we are unprepared, mostly unprepared for such a battle. Of course, viruses and bacteria and other small things are part of our lives. But what strikes me now is the huge amount of deaths, people that have died of this pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
So what is worrying me much is that scientists, biologists, cannot understand exactly how the virus is spreading and how people, ordinary people, can protect themselves. For example, in Romania, we start very early with tough measures. We are now for the second month of state of emergency, which means that all the people must stay at home. We work from home, and all elderly people, I mean people over 65, cannot go outside of their houses for more than 2 hours per day. So tough measures. Uh, I think it was a good measure because we have a very low number of dead people of this pandemic, only 542 until today at noon, which is not bad at all. Of course, we are struggle with a lot of problems with supplies, masks, and other things like. Perhaps UK is having such a problem also, as so in the United States. I think people were not prepared and companies were not prepared to shift rapidly to this kind of industry to support COVID fight. I mean, we are too much relying on Chinese industry, unfortunately. So maybe people around the world will learn a lesson. We need to have our own industry first and not going for economic reasons of, how to say, economic profit, for profit reasons, to go where the salaries, where the manpower expenditure are low. In such a crisis, we were not able to cope with the supply, medical supply, which is not good. Among all this, it is a life experience that will affect us all. I mean, it's affecting my way of working, for example. It's affecting my way of living my life, everyday's life. So I do a lot of changes in my routine. But what is missing me much is my classes, my students. It's face-to-face interaction is really absent. So it's really missing to me.
Okay, so thank you. I think I actually get two things here. So, do you think that pandemic actually bring us some new things or do you believe that actually you are obviously a long-standing professor, you are teaching long time in Romania and across the globe. So this pandemic, do you think it is actually showing deglobalizations, as you mentioned like earlier, then people are too much depends on one or two countries in the world. Now they have to think about their own resource and capabilities. So what actually what we need to think about our teaching and learning, especially for our education sector?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for asking. Actually, in Romania, the education, tertiary education, most of the universities are prepared for such online learning and teaching systems. For example, my university is using Blackboard since 2007. So imagine that we are using the system, blended learning system, so many years already. So we have the tools, we have the experience, and our students are using Blackboard every single day. So it is quite a rapid shift. We don't have ups and downs in our teaching activities. So everything is going okay. But what is missing, I repeat myself, what is missing the most is the interaction with students. I mean, teacher-students interaction. Of course, the e-learning tools offer us a lot of possibilities. Like we talked today, we can see our students, we can interact, but it's not the same. Maybe I am old-fashioned teacher,
No, no.
traditional teacher, but I'm very fan of technology also. So I do a lot for my students online. But when you teach, it's like sending your emotions also,
Mhm.
not only the knowledge to your students. Maybe motivating them face to face is quite different than through a machine. So emotions are lost. Also, if I see a student through the computer, maybe I don't understand uh, all the emotions that my student feels. For example, worries. I cannot read in their eyes the worry. I will be ready for, I will be prepared for my exams. Is enough to work via a Blackboard as an e-learning tool. It's enough to do my homework and just email to my professor. Maybe I need more time to adjust my interaction with my students to make emotions go through this technology also, because people are, young people are a little bit, Romanian students are a little bit confused now, because it's the first time when they are not in the classes. So they stay at home. Sometimes motivating a young person staying at home is difficult, because some of them understood this part of their lives like a holiday. Unfortunately, it's not a holiday at all. So they need to adjust their schedule, daily schedule, to make a routine of learning. Because in school, if you are I don't know 6 hours in school, or 4 hours in the class, you have a routine. You take your knowledge from your professors and go to the library and so on and so forth. But now it's more easier for them to, how to say, to skip. It's nothing that I will miss a class today. It's not so bad if I don't learn anything today, because the computer is not registering me as a professor, that I'm not part of the equation. I mean, I'm not with my peers in the class, virtual class. I am absent. I am the person. I am connected, but my mind is not there. So sometimes it's a tricky how to, from pedagogical point of view, how to get your students in real class using the technology. Of course, I get for my students a lot of exercises. I send them links, extra biography, extra references. It's okay. They are used to use this kind of technology to document and to learn, but they need to pay attention of their progresses.
Thank you. That's, I think, really good. Yeah, I think it is.
I think it's a challenge. It is a challenge for all of us. I mean, for us as a professors, but also for young people as students, because they don't have completely disconnected face-to-face learning from their lives. So it's the first time that it is a challenge for all of us. So we will try to do our best.
Thank you. So as you mentioned, actually the challenge, and so what do you want to say to the global market, or in the global world? What challenges we need to be more care after this pandemic? How do you see any kind of a hope that we may have a solution?
Okay. So first, I want to refer myself to the tertiary education as an industry. So a lot of universities all over the world start worrying themselves about their budget, about their incoming students for the next year. Some Romanian candidates that would like to apply, for example, in UK, are considering again their decision, because it's not the time to be away from home. Of course, the pandemic would eventually ends at a certain moment, but we don't know when and how will affect each of us. So the industry of tertiary education should reshape the offer, should be more flexible in this sense, and should pay attention to globalization, because globalization is a good thing, but in these difficult times, it seems that is not a good thing. For example, people have traveled all around the world, and the virus have spread very, very rapidly. You have seen probably in the media the nightmare of Italy. I have friends in Spain also, and they are how to say, scared to death with this new problem that they need to face. Second aspect is about economy. So I don't know if our economy will recover. I mean, Romanian economy will recover. I don't know how much time will take, because it's almost around 1 million people that have been unemployed. Yeah.
Big number.
And also the small and medium-sized companies are facing a lot of problems. Perhaps more of 50% of these small companies we are not able to recover after the pandemic. Of course, the Romanian government, have prepared some governmental and European help in terms of financing their restarting their business, but some of them they will not have the means or the opportunity to restart their market. The most affected in Romania is the Horeca industry, I mean tourism industry. Hotel, restaurants, and the other kind of social entertainment industry is down. Nothing is possible. You cannot go for a coffee outside. You cannot eat at the restaurant. Perhaps it's the same situation in your country too. but those businesses have closed their doors forever. I don't know how many of them will be able to revitalize their business. So it was a suddenly appeared problem. People have not the knowledge and not have the information how to cope with this problem, how to manage their businesses. So maybe we need to think like an escape plan B for companies, for small and medium-sized companies. What is important for the third argument, what is important in my view for the moment is what strikes me was in very hard times, the support of European Union arrived in Italy late. I find that people in Brussels have not reacted as rapidly as a country as Italy would like to react. So in good times, we are together, but in bad times, we are not quite together with you. So it is my personal view, and it was an idea that it was in media in Italy and all over Europe. It's not a good sign for the future of European Union, unfortunately. Of course, what it will expect, what will happen in the next future, we still have in Romania 1 month to go before the state of emergency will end it. I don't know if they will prolong this for another month, but the education should redesign the calendar of exams, national exams, university admission, and all sort of things. For example, if you are in the last year in high school, you need to pass the baccalaureate exam and maybe to make plans where to apply for the university. At the moment, these students, Romanian students, they didn't know when the exams will take place, when they will be able to apply for university, which is uncertainty, big uncertainty situation for all. So we will see.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Prof, I have a last one questions, and that one is actually, if you look at the pandemic is actually spared with the COVID-19, and we all are doing a different level of work to, sustain our country, and everywhere, everybody, whoever sitting here. What thing we didn't learn yet? Do you see anything we didn't follow, or we should more care about in future?
Okay.
Do you have any message
Yes.
to the world, please?
Yeah. Okay, so what we have not learned yet, I find that the World Health Organization was hesitating to declare the pandemic. Those hesitation make a lot of problems all over the world. And some countries have had bad hit of this decision. So we need to react and to take decisions rapidly in any life-threatened situation. You know, as individual, your body knows how to react if you are on threat. For example, the rush of adrenaline and so on, your power increase and you are able to save your life. But countries or organizations are not reacting with such adrenaline rush in order to manage such a difficult situation. So therefore, I think the policy making people and decision-making people at state level, EU level, should react more rapidly to such kind of threats. What I would like to say again is economically, we are not prepared. So imagine, I am a fan of globalization. We had a lot of benefits coming from globalization over the years. But in this situation, it seems that too much globalized economy is not a good sign in difficult times like this. For example, some companies have reacted very good because the reaction was how to say, the reaction was yeah, the reaction was how to say, not so well received by the governance body. For example, some companies would like to redesign their production with a little bit of governmental help. They could, for example, for clothing, they could shift doing masks. So they redesign their production flows. For example, the industry, pharmaceutical industry, could reshape their production lines very easily to shift it to this supply, necessary supply for this situation. But the support have come too, very slow. I mean, late than people expected. In some situation, we have imported, for example, Romania have imported a lot of medical materials to fight with COVID. But these imports have not been sufficient. And it was, for example, a case in Suceava, in the north of the country, where an entire hospital, personnel and patients have been infected, all of them, in just 2-3 days. Why? Because the lack of education, maybe, people are not used to wear masks to protect themselves from an enemy that you cannot see. If you don't see something, maybe you think it's not existed. So low-level education people are not thinking at all. So they are not protect themselves, which is will become eventually a big burden for the medical system. For the moment, the enforcement of the law, it's okay. People are staying at home, and we don't have so much new cases of infection. But who knows? The peak is not yet there in Romania. So,
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your in-depth, knowledge and explanation to this COVID-19. And stay well and keep yourself well as well. And all the best.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for talking.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.